Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads.
Ads that skip you, which I think is a really intriguing concept. It can only work because of that brand recognition.
It's infuriatingly short. An ad that you want to watch again, super smart. I think it's so clever.
The 6-second ad goes very fast. In terms of a new way to think about ad, I think this is a good case study to look into.
I'm the founder of Automated Creative. We are a creative effectiveness ad tech platform, but this week's about ads. And before we see some very short ads from IKEA, let's meet this week's guests.
Hey, I'm Priyanka. I work with Kyndryl. I am the US field marketing manager dedicated to the automotive industry.
Hi there, I'm Tejal Patel and I'm a senior director in the global digital media team at Cisco, leading social media and communities.
Hi, my name is Via Perkins and I'm a copywriter who has worked with brands like SEMrush, Bombas, and Genius. And I have worked at multiple agencies as well as a DEI consultancy, and I'm currently freelancing and open to work.
Fantastic. What a panel. Right. So let's see this week's ads. How many votes would you give this out of 5? 1, 2, 3. 4 and a 4 and a 3. IKEA. There you have it. Okay. So Via, very short ads, very creative. What's going on here? Help us understand the wider context of the campaign.
So the concept here is ads that skip you, which I think is a really intriguing concept. I have seen some brand ads that do defy expectations like that, playing on the idea of skipping ads, but it's usually, at least in my experience, about getting the viewer to do something, whether that's sticking around to see the whole ad or skipping the ad if it isn't relevant to you. But the idea of the ad skipping you is, I think, a really clear and effective way to, make the point of the ad, which is to say that with IKEA and with these products, it can streamline your life. It can make things easier to find and more efficient.
I think I like the campaign and the thought, and it definitely aligns to the medium. So definitely intended for the YouTube as a platform, because it will not work for, let's say, a TV setup or, if you're watching it somewhere else. So I think the ad is on point. It's simple. What I'm a little icky about is what would be the next step? So if I'm a consumer, and what is the action expected out of me? Because the 6-second ad goes very fast. It's not pushing me to either go on the web page, or it's not pushing me to buy a product or explore more about the product. So that's something that I don't like about the ad. But apart from that, the creativity, the simplicity, the way it's been molded for the platform, I think all of that is on point. In fact, it's even low on budget probably, because it's a 6-second ad.
I think it's infuriatingly short. I watched it and it goes to show an ad that you want to watch again, because it's like, I don't know, what else is in this ad? What am I missing in this ad? And it absolutely is the ad that skips you, because by the time you're able to do anything about it, the ad is over. Super smart. I think it's so clever. Very few brands can get away with this, though, because you know the essence of IKEA already. You know what they're about.
Do you think it needs to be more explicit? Is average IKEA shopper going to make that tangential link in 3 seconds?
I still think that it's effective. I would say it probably would have been more effective if it were a 15-second ad. That would have been, my preference. But I think the goal was to create a human connection that can be relatable and can tie back to the brand. It can only work because of that brand recognition. I kind of wonder how it would perform on YouTube. I haven't gotten these ads on YouTube videos before. I've only seen them in this context that we're watching them now. But it's possible that they may have put a sort of section at the very end after it said skip. And then it could have given you, how sometimes you get like a black screen that then allows you to click to the next, into, the company or into the page that they want. It's possible that that could have been the way that they got more clicks.
When you've made your ad so short, and by the time you even get to the skip ad, it's over. I think they've got inflated results here. Of course, you're going to get those many million impressions. First of all, don't mean anything. That's all based, in my opinion, based on your media buy. So let's not look at impressions as a way of measuring success. The views in this situation, I think they're getting a lot of those views because the format is so short, not because people are highly entertained or they're not scrolling for something else. You're not scrolling in a YouTube environment. The click-through rate is interesting, but what is 32% more than what was the original target? You know, what is the average click-through rate on a YouTube ad? 0.2, maybe, something like that. So 35% more than say they doubled that, 0.4 was their target, 35%. 32% increase on that isn't that great. For awareness, it's a great brand already. You're reinforcing that when you think about organization, you think about IKEA. I think from that point of view, job done.
When I was reading about the campaign, we never got these ads on YouTube is because this was dedicated to the Indian market only. And that's why you see Indian people and their bathrooms and those kind of setups.
Right, that explains it.
In India, IKEA is a fairly new brand. It's a late entry compared to US, at least compared to US. If we are saying the brand awareness from an India point of view, yes, they may know, the urban population may know what IKEA is as a brand, but building brand loyalty and trust, they need to catch up. There are many other vendors. There are like Pepperfry, Urban Ladder, who are much more prominent in the Indian market, targeting the same middle class population. From a marketer's point of view, I think this is wonderful in terms of the creativity, simplicity, everything 100 points on that.
So if you guys were the creative directors on this, what would improve this campaign for you?
When you look at the kids video, I don't even understand they're talking about the bed or the bed with drawers or the Lego block which they are building. It takes 2 to 3 trials or visits on the ad to actually understand what is the product that they're talking about. So increasing the length and focusing more on the product, I think would kind of resonate for me a little more.
I think that there's room for more storytelling here because I like the idea it is focused on relatability. I wish I could have seen more about what the use is. What is it actually doing? I mean, it's great to be able to build a tower, right? For instance, but what if there is a little bit more to it? One of the things that I noticed in these videos is there's this hashtag, organizing is awesome. As someone who, writes copy, is that there's something about the word awesome to me that I think there's just a missed potential there. It's not descriptive enough to explain anything distinctive about the brand. If it were something about saving time or the idea of, well-made products making you more efficient in your life, that would be different. But I did kind of notice it up at the upper right-hand corner. After a few watches, there's so much potential in these ads. And with just a couple of tweaks, I think they could have been so much more effective.
This is targeted at the kids. So I don't know what their buying strategy was here, then the targeting strategy, but the title would suggest it was definitely a younger audience. And that is a pain point. So actually what they've done is identified a pain point for that audience, which is you do lose your toys, especially those kinds of things, your Lego, all of that. By having IKEA and organizing it means you're not going to have that problem again. So actually, I think if this is part of a bigger campaign, which sounds like it is, I mean, we saw a couple of other ads. I don't know what other formats they'd bought. Was there anything long form, other media? Because if it comes together as a bigger campaign as part of their bigger strategy in India, then I think having just snippets of this kind of information is telling a much bigger story around organization. You think of IKEA. I mean, that's a huge win.
So what they're targeting here clearly is not quality. It's about organizing and saving time. And in India, specifically Mumbai and the metropolitans, there are a lot of people. It's housing 1 billion population. So it's a $40 billion housing market today in India. So for them to target that market, they don't have to be the best quality brand out there. They have to be the most used brand. So in my mind, that's the audience which they are targeting, the younger workforce that is getting a new house, going to shift with their job to different places. In my mind, that's the target audience. I don't think just the ad is going to do the trick. The ad is good for brand awareness. It's not driving any action for me to explore the products. Performance-wise, may not be as great, but for a marketer storytelling point of view, in terms of a new way to think about ad, I think this is a good case study to look into.
Voting with a thumb up or down, would you sign off this campaign in its current form? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, split room. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you all next week.